Catherine Moolenschot here. I actually wrote my first book when I was 13 years old, and I've been writing and editing since. I absolutely love writing. I love reading, I love books, I love people, I love psychology, I love business. I've got lots of passions. And there's a really time-consuming mistake that I see a lot of people do when they set about wanting to write a book, and that is that people start writing too early. And that might sound odd, but there's a lot of prep that needs to happen before you start writing to make sure you really are clear on who your book is for and what you're really trying to say. And the issue is that a lot of people set about writing and then they write 10, 20, 30,000 words, all actually still trying to figure out what their book is even about. And most of those words don't end up in the final edit of their book. There's a way more efficient, a way more effective, and a way more sane way to go about writing a book. Another thing that I really see as the biggest hurdles a lot of CEOs face is a lack of time and a lack of know-how. A lot of people just sit down and expect themselves to be able to write a book. I liken it to imagine just collecting car parts and then expecting yourself without any help or guidance from anyone to turn it all into a car when you have no prior experience. Like, how are you ever going to do that? Writing a book is an art and a science. You need both the creativity to keep people engaged, the ability for storytelling, but you need the structure there to really make messages drive home. Now, what is the solution in tackling this mammoth task of writing your own book? There are a lot of things that I really recommend getting clarity on before you even start. Now, one of them is your ideal reader. A lot of business owners and CEOs often think, oh, okay, that's who's my ideal customer, but it's a little bit different than that. It's not only, what is potentially their age, what is their demographic, but what questions are they asking that your book is the answer to? So that when they see your book on that bookshelf or your book on Amazon, they're like, oh, I need to buy that and I need to read that. Another to get clear on is your pillar message. So what is that pillar message that is going to be hold true throughout your whole book? What is that pillar that holds all the different chapters and subcategories of your book together? That one overarching theme. What is that going to be for your book? Another thing that's really important to be clear on is your publishing strategy. So today we have two main options. One is commercially publishing and the other is self-publishing. And there's also a lot of new publishing companies that do a kind of in-between, which is really cool to explore as well. But what's really important is to dive into the pros and cons of both so you can make an informed decision about what is going to be the best publishing strategy for you and for your book. Flowing on from publishing strategy is marketing strategy, because which kind of publishing method that you use is going to really impact that. So are people going to come across your book? Is your marketing going to be email marketing? Will they see it on Amazon? Will it be in a bookstore? How are people going to come across your book? Now, something else that is really important when you're in that beginning phase before you even set about writing is to, and it's something that I do with my clients, and maybe there's someone in your life who can do this with you, but to be interviewed, to have someone sit down with you and interview you, to draw out all those stories from your life that you might not think are gold, but are actually total gold and are going to help engage the reader. The final thing, which is really, really obvious when you first set about writing a book, is of course you need to be clear on why. Why on earth do you want to write your book in the first place? Once you have clarity on all these things, it's really exciting, you're almost ready to write your book, but you need one more thing. And that one more thing is an expert writing roadmap. And this is the roadmap that is going to take you through your writing journey, helping you know all the different elements that you need to get down. And it's something that I go through in my unpacking book session with my clients. I used to just offer it as just a package, like just to unpack someone's book, get all that clarity of everything we've discussed so far so that they can sit down and write much more efficiently and much more effectively and get their book done. But then I realized, talking with friends and different people who hadn't finished their books, that it was so many unknowns that came up along the writing journey that they hadn't expected. And that's when I realized I had to offer something much more than just unpacking your book, because there are all these questions that can come up when you're writing. Questions like, I'm busy editing chapter 3 and I've just realized that I don't like this second half of chapter 3. It doesn't fit quite well and it's not quite fitting to the pillar message, so I'm going to delete that. And then, oh no, what am I going to do? There's like a whole gap there in my book now. All the other chapters are a certain length and chapter 3 is now half the length. What do I do? And then people might be like, oh, my intro, I've written my intro. I'm not sure if the tone's quite right. I think it's good. It might be a bit long. Or should I actually include some of those parts of my intro in my author bio? Or there's questions like, okay, I'm working in chapter 6 and I really, really like this story, but last night I thought of an even better story that would go here, but that better story, which shares what I'm trying to get across more succinctly, takes up way less words. So now again, I'm a bit short on words in this chapter, and what do I do? And oh, could I move these bits around? Do you reckon those chapters could be moved? Would that make the book better? And people have all these different questions in all different sections of their book that they come across and they don't know the answers to. And they don't have that know-how in how to answer those questions to make the decisions that is going to make that book be the best book that it can be. And that is when I was like, oh my gosh, I have to offer my clients like 6 months of help. Like I just need to be like, here, I'm yours, use me as much as you need, email me when you need so that I can answer your questions as they come up, rather than having one roadblock and then you start working on another section of the book and then you get stuck there too. So then you go to chapter 3 and then you get stuck there with half a chapter left and then you just go, I don't know what to do, and throw in the towel. So that is the way that I currently work with clients today, and it's awesome. So we first unpack their book and then I hold their hand for the whole 6 months journey until their first draft of their book is written. And it is so exciting seeing the look on their faces that first time they print out their full book and they look at me and they go, oh my gosh, Catherine, like I've actually written a book. And I'm like, I know you have. They're like, I've actually written a book. I'm like, I know. It's so exciting. So I absolutely love that moment with my clients. If you are looking to write a book and you feel like you need help on this process, you feel like you need help unpacking it, and you definitely potentially know that you're going to need help, reach out.